On today's Locked On Bama, everybody, Alabama gets another commitment. This one is for 2024, and it is a big one. There's also a pretty interesting Nick Saban story out there that's going to be in a new book by John Metchie from AL.com. I can't wait to talk about that just a little bit. Those are the two big stories today. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more talked about on Locked On Bama for sure. And so let's go ahead and get it started with Jimmy Stein and me.
Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, how are you today? Uh-oh. Jimmy, how are you today? Oh, no, he's muted again. Oh, no. Jimmy, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Had a couple of false starts there, huh? But we're good. We're good. Everything is fine.
We had more false start than Cam Robinson in that particular. But it happens. We've had some. Go ahead.
He was on my TV 2 minutes ago. Cam Robinson.
Interesting.
I'm watching NFL Network, and they're doing training camps, and Cam was literally the last player on that they showed before I came in here to do this.
Thank you for making us your first listen, everybody. We appreciate that. Big news today. Jaylen Mbakwe from Clay Chalkville commits to Alabama, an athlete. I would put him at least a high 4-star, if not 5-star. I would say he's like 90% a 5-star on all the sites. I think Rivals has him pretty low. That may be holding his status back a little bit. ESPN has him as a 4-star, I saw. But overall, great athlete, just a really kick-butt start to the 2024 class, right, Jimmy?
It really is, and Mbakwe is the biggest name yet. He's fantastic. I mean, this is a really, really good football player. The more I watch it, the more I get infatuated with this guy. He, like so many other recent players that we've picked up, whether it's the 22 class, the 23 class, and now the 24 class, this kid can really, really run. He is crazy fast. I think he's run a sub 10 500 meters, which that's just super elite speed at the college for college football. And then you watch his game tape, and he plays to that speed. He is an electric punt returner, He's really good on offense, but I like him best on defense myself. I think it just shows how much of a real football player he is. I mean, so many track guys, so many guys that just have that world-class track speed. They want to play wide receiver, and most of them do here. But he's a real football player. This kid wants to play football. For a cornerback, he is not shy about hitting people. He mirrors receivers really well. I think he's got high-level football skills. He is so good, Luke, even though Alabama has done nothing but sign 5-star players since 2008. It's hard to find a really good comp for him because he is just so fast. Probably a shade under 6 foot. I see him listed in a few places at 6 foot tall. He's probably over 5'10", and might be knocking on the door to 6 foot. Not super long, but also not short. I've seen a few comps. I came up with a couple myself. It's just settling right now on D. Milner. I mean, that's the best comp I have just in terms of D. Milner was a 6 foot 4'3" guy. But he was a football player. He wasn't just a track guy. And that's why I think Milner might be the best comp. But I'll also say that knowing that Milner didn't have the best NFL career after he got injured. So I'm a little more hopeful Mbakwe ends up being a better football player than D. Milner. But that's just the best comp I can come up with.
Interesting. Look, I would take a D. Milner Alabama career. There's no doubt in my mind I would take that.
But wouldn't you like to pick in the draft? I mean, you're 7th or 8th pick around there.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Take that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I love Mbakwe. I love him. I love him more every time I watch him. And he's the #1 prospect in the state in 2024. I can't see that changing. I mean, kids change, kids develop, kids get better. much like on the field, I don't see anyone catching Mbakwe.
That's good to hear. Jimmy, let me go ahead and tell everybody about Bet Online. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every single league, including MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. Whatever you want, they got it at betonline.net. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports wagering information. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. BetOnline is where the game starts. John Talty from AL.com has a book coming out all about Nick Saban, really. He had an interesting story in there that's leaked, and it mentions that after the kick six in 2013, Saban gave some pretty serious consideration to joining the ESPN game day crew. And, back at that time, it was also being floated around a lot that he was interested in Texas. And, look, I never really worried about it. I didn't. I heard the rumors. I never really worried about it. But apparently it was kind of a thing. And, boy, there was I think John Talty even had something in there. Oh, my gosh. Y'all have gone crazy. I'm going to just zoom in on me. So I think I saw something in there where Nick Saban said, hey, football, he just wanted to quit football for a while. And I was thinking, yeah, I would have quit football too if you had quit because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in an Alabama world without Nick Saban right now. Can you imagine not having Nick Saban from 2014 where you make the playoffs in your first year? No, there were some bad losses, Ohio State, Ole Miss, but Amari Cooper, the big Iron Bowl that year. Can you imagine not having Nick Saban in 2015? Derrick Henry winning the Heisman, winning the national championship. 2016, another magical year, go undefeated, lose to Clemson in the last second. 2017, you end up playing for another national championship, and it's, oh my gosh. Jimmy is back, but he's muted again. Jimmy has, all right. Jimmy says, I have him muted. Do I have you muted? I do not have you muted because now I still can't hear you. This is unreal. Guys, for those who don't know, and this is the truth, Jimmy, I cannot hear a word you're saying, just FYI. And I'm going to just go to me for a second. But for those who don't know, Jimmy is using his wife's phone because his jitterbug, whatever phone he has just quit working on Restream. And the technical difficulties were so numerous that we had to just give up on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take another break. Hopefully when we come back, we'll have Jimmy's time with us. If we don't, we don't. We'll deal with it. Okay, we may not have Jimmy Stein with us. I just want to let you know that. A couple other things we were going to talk about today. I'm hoping Jimmy can talk about them if he is joining. Jimmy, are you back with us? All right, buddy. You are somehow or another, you are back to not having any sound. I do not know what's up. So I'm just going to cut Jimmy loose right now. One thing we were going to talk about, and I'll get Jimmy to talk about this on the next podcast. Again, sorry. Literally, Jimmy is using his wife's phone, so I don't think he knows all the ins and outs there. Hopefully, he's not scrolling through all the text. But anyway, Miles McVay is an offensive lineman I want to talk about with Jimmy. I'll do that on the next podcast, Meet East St. Louis. He's going to be committing in August. I think it's going to be Alabama. I know Jimmy thinks it's going to be Alabama. That would be huge. Of course, Caleb Downs will be committing tomorrow. That is a big, big piece to the puzzle. There's some people who think Caleb Downs is the best player in this class. Now, that means better than Arch Manning. By the way, Arch Manning is not the #1 universal player anymore. Malachi Nelson took that mantle from him in the ESPN rankings. So Arch Manning no longer universally #1. That's a thing. So why not, now that that seal has been broken, if you really do think Caleb Downs is the best player and you just were sort of chicken to do it because everybody had Arch #1, hey, maybe you could put Caleb Downs as #1. I think he's fantastic. Honestly, I think for the most part, Cormani McClain is more highly regarded by most sites, but Caleb Downs is a freak show. So he's going to be announcing tomorrow about noon. Jimmy and I will do a podcast after that. Jimmy's technology will work, so we will certainly talk about that. And I don't know how much I got into it the other day, but the tournament in Portland that Alabama's going to in basketball, they're going to start out with Michigan State. And I just think that's awesome. I love that. I would rather start out with Michigan State, North Carolina than I think the University of Portland is involved or something like that. So I don't know what in the world. But regardless, we're going to go ahead and call this podcast a day. We appreciate you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We will be back tomorrow. We'll have a lot more information, especially on Caleb Downs, because he's going to make his commitment at noon. Let me go ahead and say this too. It is not 100% he's committing to Alabama. I think he is. I know Jimmy thinks he is. But I can tell you there's some optimism on the Ohio State side, and he is still communicating with Georgia. I don't think it's going to be Georgia. I do think it's going to be Alabama. But it wouldn't be a complete shock if he were to pick Ohio State. This isn't going to be like the Rashaan Evans, for instance, where everybody in the world thought he was going to Auburn and he picks Alabama, or the tight end whose name escapes me right now. It went to LSU when everybody thought he was going to Alabama, and now he's at Georgia. It's not. It wouldn't be that big of a shock if he were to go to Ohio State, or even if he were to go to Georgia. But I do think it's going to be Alabama. I think we'll have some more good news tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Hey, guys, thank y'all so much for being with us again. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Jimmy is working on his wife's phone. He's just working on the phone. He's not literally working on it because he has no tech savvy whatsoever. That's going to do it for today's podcast. Thank you guys so much, and roll tide.